Mississippi Road, Mississippi Road.
My mission with rescuing the foals and with my website is just to educate people about the problems that the horses are facing. We bought this place a couple of months ago, and we've been calling it Foal Haven. We've had 24 foals so far that we've gotten from Ohio, and have adopted all of them out except for 3. So I think we've done really well. I think most people look at horses like they do cats and dogs. They're like a pet. They're a companion animal. They give back just as much as you give to them. You know, horses can love you back. I've always had horses all my life. I've always loved horses. My first very own horse was when I was 10 years old, and it was a pony, a Welch pony, and I got it for Christmas, and it was probably my most memorable Christmas ever. Owning a horse is a lot of responsibility. I can remember when I was young, you know, having to walk in the rain and, you know, feeding it every day, but I loved having them so much that I didn't mind doing that extra work. I just have a soft spot for babies. And when I realized that these foals weren't having any chance at life, that I just wanted to do something to help.
You could tell when you met Stephanie that she was obviously a horse person. She loved those horses, and that she was really interested in trying to find a good home for them. And you could tell that she really was very, very kind and gentle and loved those horses. We saw an ad in the paper about some horses that needed a home, that were orphan horses because they had taken their mothers away to let some more expensive horses feed on them. And so when we saw that ad in the paper, we felt like we could go out, would like to go out and get a couple of those horses to have out here.
The nurse mare farms are farms that breed horses so that the mare will come into milk. There are a lot of nurse mare farms that will take care of the foals and make sure that they're adopted out. It's very expensive and a lot of work, so I think that's why a lot of the farms don't want to fool with that. So they rather just let the foal die, or, you know, hopefully find a rescue group that will take them. But there's just too many. People should understand that not all thoroughbred breeders use the nurse mares. A lot of them do use the nurse mares, but they will only use them from reputable nurse mare farms that will tell them, we're going to take care of the babies. There are a lot of nurse mare farms that will take care of the foals and make sure that they're adopted out.
The biggest challenge that we face in trying to save these babies is whether to try to save as many of them as we can, or whether to try to do what we can to put a stop to the practice. We would love nothing better than to never have to rescue another nurse mare foal. We have had a lot of people that want to help, and we've had no trouble finding homes for the horses that we've brought back, and we're going to continue to bring horses down here, and I don't think we'll ever have any trouble finding homes for them.
I learned about Last Chance Corral when I was doing research for the website, MississippiHorses.org, and I got online. I was just doing a lot of research about the different things that were happening to horses. There's so much talk now about the unwanted horse population and the way that horses are being brutally slaughtered. So the more research I did, the more things I found out about what's happening to horses, and it just kind of got worse and worse. Last Chance Corral is a rescue organization that's been in existence for 20 years. It's in South Athens, Ohio. Victoria, the lady that runs it, her life is for the foals. So she tries to save as many as she can. She can get as many as 150 to 200 a year that she rescues. I had talked to Victoria a couple of times on the phone, and she said that she wished that I was closer so I could help her adopt out some of the foals. She said that she had pretty much saturated the state of Ohio and just, you know, needed to branch out on adopting the foals out. So I called Victoria back and said, you know, I'm really interested in coming and getting some of the foals and trying to adopt them out.
I was actually at the Final Four in San Antonio with our son. She called and said, we got to go get these horses. We got to go right now. I said, can it possibly wait until I get back from the basketball game? She said, no. So by the time I got back from San Antonio, I was the proud owner of 12 nurse mare foals.
My husband's real supportive. He was actually the one that said, okay, if we're going to get 6, we might as well get 12.
Well, the first thing I thought was, I'm going to have to go buy a farm to put them on. because we didn't have a place to put them. Both of us were very inexperienced at handling baby horses, and we didn't know a lot about what we were doing, but we've learned as we've gone along, and we're getting pretty good at it now. We don't want anybody thinking that this is in any way about anybody making any money. The lady up in Ohio that we adopt these horses from is not making any money on it. We're certainly not making any money.
I thought she was crazy. In my opinion, she's tackling a very tough situation. I mean, a baby can be very expensive even in the best of circumstances. To take a group of orphans that have been put together from various areas where they've been exposed to a lot of illness is a big financial challenge and a big emotional challenge also. And you know, Stephanie has had to take the emotional stress of it, and it is stressful. She gets real attached to these babies. We just kept some that we knew had been exposed to certain bacterial infections away from others until we knew their health was good and that they wouldn't transmit the disease to the others. And so they're all got a clean bill of health today and can be turned back out with the rest of the herd, and I'm sure they're happy to get out.
I'm glad we got these. I love them. They got here by the love and grace of God and Stephanie and Bill Billingsley, and they are just, I mean, they're just the sweetest things ever. They have got hearts. They've never known their mom, so we are their mom. When we first got them, they were just like, ooh, this is really neat. And they just kind of bounded in and just kind of ran around for 5 or 10 minutes, and then they just kind of flopped and fell asleep. And they had this thing where they'd all fall asleep in a whole pile. It was the funniest thing ever. They'd come in and they didn't know what a stall was because they hadn't been in one. They'd come in and out, in and out. They'd sleep a whole lot when they first came. So they're doing fine now.
If you have the property where you can properly take care of the horses, I think it would be wonderful for anybody that has the ability to do that and the wherewithal to do that, to take some of these horses and take good care of them.
I think a lot of horse people, like myself, aren't aware that so many horses are being slaughtered and that so many foals are just being thrown away like they're trash. And I just think that the more people that realize it, the greater chances that it will be stopped. So I hope people will learn from me adopting the nurse-mare foals is that there are already so many horses out there that need a home, and you know, if someone's thinking about breeding their mare just because they want a foal, that they don't, you know, I wish they would consider adopting a foal.
Foaling season happens between January and March of each year. If you're interested in adopting one of these little foals, you can contact Stephanie Billingsley at her website, MississippiHorses.org.
For a copy of this program, call 601-432-6294 or send a check or money order for $14.95 to Mississippi Public Broadcasting, 3825 Ridgewood Road, Jackson, Mississippi, 39211. Please indicate the name and date of the program.